video walkthrough on Keystone Cougar. We're still in the back. You're pre-wired for a backup camera. Now this doesn't have one, you're just pre-wired for one. It does use power from those marker lights up there, so the running lights on your tow vehicle need to be on for that camera to be operational. Right here you have your hookup for satellite and cable. And then you can move this out of your way for when you lock and close that. It's nice and neat rather than this being open like that. Receiver, not really meant for towing. It even says it's not for towing. 300 pounds is your limit. That's just for a bike rack or an extra one of those big racks. You have some extra coolers or some extra supplies. Bumper caps right here, they come off. That's where you're going to store your sewer hose. These do not come with one. That's going to have to be a separate purchase. Shower cord right here, built in. All you got to do is kind of shove it back in there and then close it when you're done. You can close it like this. Keep it nice and neat, just like the one over there. 30 amp, and it's about 25-30 feet long. Most places have 30 amp. Fridge, just keep this clean. I would even recommend popping this cover off and cleaning back there a couple times a year too as well. Exhaust for your furnace, just keep it clean. Gray and black tank right down here. Got your cap, we will put your cap on for you. There we go. I always recommend making sure these valves are all the way closed, which they are. Yep. Before you take your cap off. And then I do gray tank second, so black tank first. Black tank's the one on the right. Let that get all the way dumped out. Then do gray tank, that one right there. Black tank water is toilet water, so you can use that gray tank water to flush all of the black tank water out of it. So when you pick up to move your hose over here, it's not dripping in black tank water. That's just the way I do it. That way I can avoid getting the black tank water on me. Water hookups right here. This is where you have city water hooked up, and then you won't have to run off of your pump or anything like that. If you are going to if you want to fill your fresh tank, so you can have water, an onboard supply of water if you're going somewhere that doesn't provide it, you can switch this over to tank fill, and you'll be filling your onboard tank. That's how you do it there. Watch its progress on the monitoring panel. Don't wait till you hear water squirt out everywhere to say that it is full. Quick disconnect for a shower. That's your hose for it. You have hot and cold, which is nice. Right below that is a black tank flush, so you can move your hose to this one, right back here, when you're dumping your black tank. So because there's a little sprayer in the black tank that turns on as soon as you turn the water on your hose, and that'll kind of flush out your black tank, keep residue off the walls, keep it smelling fresher. And then you can move this out of the way to close it, as well as, just like all the other ones, move this out of the way and lock it like that, make it look nice and neat like that. When you use your city water, the way it is now, you won't need to use your pump. Pass-through storage here. Battery disconnect. So if you're storing this unit and you don't have a way to charge it, like if you don't have the ability to plug it in during storage, you want to make sure you disconnect your battery. If not, leave it connected and just turn all your lights off, because the charge won't reach the battery if you disconnect it. You have holding tank heaters, so your fresh gray and black. There's little pads underneath them to help kind of keep whatever's in there from freezing if you're going to go camping in the winter. Controls for your stabilizing jacks. They are stabilizing jacks, they are not leveling jacks. Got to see how they operate. Do not use these to try to level your trailer. Use your tongue jack to get it level front to back, then you can snug your front ones and your rear ones down. That'll just get all the shake and shimmy out of everything. Light switch right here does these decorative LEDs up over there. There's that. This crank right here is a backup for the stabilizers. So in case the motors were to fail or the power were to fail, you still have a way to operate them. Here, a lot of good information. Your unloaded vehicle weight. So right now, this trailer as it sits weighs 5,590 pounds. Gross vehicle weight rating is 7,200 pounds. That's the most this trailer will ever weigh. That's like, you add cargo carrying capacity and weight with water, you add that to this number, and you get this number right there. The most important one is 80 psi. We checked these tires, so these ones are at 80 psi right now. But I definitely recommend before you tow this on any of your trips, you check the tire pressures and make sure they're at 80 psi. Battery, I already explained your battery disconnect. There's one other thing I definitely recommend doing in the winter with your battery, and that's taking it out. Storing it somewhere warmer than being sat outside. Garage, basement, shed, anything is a lot warmer than being outside. Dual 30-pound cylinders, freshly filled. Got your selector right here, so it's pointing to this tank. It's going to pull from this tank first. If you were to have both of them on and this one would get emptied, this is going to automatically switch to pulling from this tank. However, this doesn't move, indicating it's switched the tank. So keep that in mind. And then some people think putting it in the middle is going to pull from both tanks equally. It doesn't work. It's one side or the other. My recommendation is have one on, have the other off. And then when you're cooking and you see that if you're cooking or have the furnace on and you hear the gas is off, that the flames are getting lower, the furnace isn't working as efficiently, you can tell that the propane is gone in this one tank. I'll come out here physically, turn this one on, switch this over manually, because remember I said it doesn't automatically switch over, so you don't have any way to tell that it has switched tanks. I'll switch it over myself. That way I have in the back of my head, hey, I need to get a propane tank filled. Because when it switches over, you could be halfway through this tank and you still think you have some in this left. So keep that in mind. Power tongue jack, beats hand cranking every day of the week. 7-way gets hooked to the back of your truck. That's what's going to allow the trailer lights and brakes to work. Chains, you're going to cross them when you hook up. And you have this breakaway cable right here that's hooked to a box tucked up underneath there. If your trailer will come undone from your truck, it's going to pull the pin out of the box, activate the brakes on the trailer. Both sides, you are pre-wired for these Furion cameras. Usually we just replace the whole thing and buy the kit, put the ones in the kit on it. And that has cameras pointing to the side, so you can have them all on the same screen. You get like the 7-inch big screen that you put in your truck, so you can see what's behind you as well as what's on your side. They don't activate with your turn signals because these don't blink when you turn or anything like that. But that allows you to always have a clear sight of your blind spots on your trailer, which is pretty neat. You can also get the 4-camera kit, which has the backup camera, the 2 side cameras, as well as a camera that you can put above your door as like a security camera. Right there, that's your brain for your in-command system. Don't mess with it. Don't fiddle with it or anything like that. There's a lot of electrical connections back there. That's like the computer for your touch screen up there. And then, yeah, other side of the storage, not a whole heck of a lot. Outdoor power, it's GFCI protected. All your GFCIs are on the same circuit. If one were to trip, they're all going to trip. And I'll show you on the inside where you reset it. You have your cable, TV antenna, and a satellite output. These are outputs, so if you wanted to have a TV outside, you could. Right up there, if you're going to use the fan on your range hood, you make sure you open this up right here. If not, snap it closed when you travel so it's not flapping around. I always recommend closing it overnight too, so you don't get like mosquitoes and small insects making their way up in there. Water heater is very simple. It's all set up for you folks to use it. The only thing you have to do is put your anode rod in. Anode rod is, there's this material on this outside of this rod. There's a rod going right through the middle of this. This is what kind of absorbs like minerals and stuff from the water, because this is a glass-lined steel tank. When you have about 25% of this material remaining, it's time to get a new one. And then you just put it in here, thread it as much as you can by hand, and then 1 1/16 is the socket size. That's what I use, a little short socket with an extension. Ratcheting wrench, snug it up. As soon as you get that done, as soon as you hook it water, whether you be turning your pump on so you can run water from that, or from your city water, it's going to automatically start filling. If you want to use it on electric, there are electric controls on the touch screen over there, but regardless, you still have to have this switch, and there's some tape on it. It's in the off position right now, but you have to turn it to the on position still to use it. We'll kind of get this tape off if we can. There you go. That's it off. So if you turn it on out here, it's not going to do anything either. But you have to turn it on to be able to turn on electric from that. Just a safety thing. Don't run electric if you don't have water in it, obviously, because you can ruin your heating element. And then I definitely recommend draining it after every trip, just like your freshwater tank. I did neglect to show you the drain for that, so we'll go back over and I'll show you that. Just like your freshwater tank, you want to drain it after every trip. Before you pull your plug out to drain it, open your pressure relief, let all the water squirt out. What you're doing is relieving all that pressure. Once it stops, snap it closed, then you can take this out. If you neglect to do this first and you do that, it's gonna get you're gonna get a bath because all that pressure is gonna come out of there. Alright, I apologize. Slight interruption. Where were we? We covered draining it and how you can get super wet if you don't relieve your pressure first. So I'm on to cleaning it. Definitely recommend cleaning down in here and up in here a couple times a year. And then make sure you clean the whole area back there a couple times a year too as well. Just so you can keep any debris from getting caught with the flames or keep it working efficiently. If you keep it clean, it's going to work a little bit longer for you. Alright, on to the other thing I wanted to cover, was where your drain was for your fresh tank. Because you fill it over here, so your drain for it is... where is it? Right there. You can see that right next to your jack. Alright, now we will come on into the inside. And so you guys can hear me. I'm used to saying you guys. Whoever's watching it can hear me. I'm gonna turn your AC off, and we'll cover that in a minute. Here you can read how full everything is. Your fresh, your black, and your gray. You can do your interior lights from here. You can turn your water heater, gas, electric, gas and electric. Like I said, electric, you need to have that switch on and make sure you have water in it. You can turn your water pump on or off here. You can read battery voltage there. You can go to your settings, go to passcode. You can type in your current passcode. Right now your current passcode is all zeros. If you wish to change it, type in your current passcode and then it'll ask what you want your new passcode to be. You can do other settings. Here you can Bluetooth your phone to this and control almost everything off of your phone. Now you can go to HVAC. That's off. The zone is telling you what temperature it's inside right now. Fan, it's just going to run the fan portion of the AC. You can do high or low. Go to cool. Now you have fan auto, high or low. I definitely recommend running cool on auto. What that'll do is, let's say you have it set to 62. Once it gets to 62 degrees in here, your AC will shut off. And then as it starts getting warmer here, it'll cycle back on to help regulate that. If you just had it running on high, once it hits 62, it's still going to continue to run. And what that might do is cause your AC to freeze up from overrunning, and then you have to wait for it to thaw out to use it again. Tap cool again, you get heat. The only source is gas, and then again the fan speed for that. And both heat and cool, this is how you change your temperature. You can also schedule a start and stop top time for everything for that too, which is nice. Oh, one more thing, and then you have one more mode, which is the mode auto. So if you have it set to 65 and it's 90 degrees during the day, your AC will kick on to bring it down to 65. But let's say it drops to 40 degrees overnight, your furnace will kick on to bring the temperature up to 65. So that's what's nice about that. Go back, you can do your lights, bedroom light, which is just the bedroom, do ceiling lights, which is the main ceiling area, and then awning lights, which do LEDs on your awning. Speaking of awning, your controls for your awnings are with sides and awnings, right there. You have to hold the button down, it's not a one-hit type of dealie. And it does not automatically stop when you go out. I'll show you what it looks like when it's all the way out. Boom. Now you will see the flap. Let's try to get the flap to show. When they rolled up for a while, there you go. That's what it looks like when it's all the way out. They are adjustable for pitch. On both sides, you will grab the larger portion of this. You can push or pull it down like that. So you can have one end lower than the other. So you can have water pitch off to the corner rather than all the way along the edge if it's raining, or you can adjust it to get the sun out of your eyes. If it's raining really hard, roll your awning in. You don't want it to get ruined because of the nasty weather. And if you roll it in wet, as soon as you get the chance to, roll it back out and let it dry off. There you go. And that's pretty much it for up here. Turn the screen off. We'll go around to down here. You have your breakers for all your 120 volt appliances, and all your fuses for your 12 volt appliances. Definitely recommend keeping some spare fuses just in case. And then to the right of that, propane gas detector. That's hardwired to the 12 volt system, so there's no batteries you have to change. That's all that's going to do is detect propane leaks. Coming into your bathroom, here's that resettable GFCI. So if any GFCI would have tripped, this is the L that you hit reset on. Other than that, I mean, you got a decent amount of storage in here. Your toilet, as long as you're pushing this pedal, is going to continue to flush. Porcelain, so it's a nice sturdy toilet. It'll feel more familiar than the plastic ones that come in some of these. Light switch for in here. Shower is very basic, hot and cold. I'll tell you, this is a lot nicer than my shower at home. These nice sliding doors. They magnet close, just like that. When you travel, definitely clip this like this so they're not swinging all over the place. Fridge is very simple. You have on and off, on, auto, and gas. Definitely recommend just leaving on auto. Auto is going to default to 110, so if you're plugged in, that's what it's going to use. But if you were to lose power in any shape or form, not 12 volt power, but 120 volts, like if someone were to accidentally unplug you, or the campground would lose power, this fridge will automatically switch to running off of 12 volt. Not 12 volt, sorry. Propane. But you are required to still have 12 volt for it to work off of propane. Now, whether you're running it on gas or electric, it does take about 8 to 10 hours to get the operating temperature. Because they work differently than a normal fridge. They work through a different process called an absorption process, which heats up ammonia, which runs through a cooling unit, which then pulls heat out of the fridge, and within the absence of heat, it's cool. So it does take longer than your normal fridge. So make sure you guys plan your trip accordingly to make sure you have enough ample time for your fridge to get cool enough to store food in it. Nice dual recliners with lights in them. So these are your lights with massage and heat in them. I like both of them. As well as USB ports too, which is really nice. They do recline. Your reclining is right there on both sides. Just pull that up to recline, and then you just use your feet to push them closed. Microwave, basic microwave. It's only going to work if this trailer is plugged in. Other than that, it's just like your microwave at home. Light, and then fan. Remember what I said, you have to have that flap open for your fan to work. Fold up and back, glass cooktop. All you do is turn these to the flame, twist your sparker, they light right up. The gas is off right now, so they won't light. All three burners work the same. Oven's a little bit different. You turn that to the flame, push and hold. As you're pushing and holding that in, you're going to twist your sparker. What you're looking for is, let's get a good view of it right there, for that pilot to get lit. So you're pushing, holding this, twisting that sparker. Once the pilot is lit, you can turn it to your desired temperature. If you plan on cooking again in a few hours, if you turn it to the flame, shuts the burner off but leaves the pilot on. But I definitely recommend turning it off before you go to bed or before you leave the trailer for an extended period of time. It's not a good idea to have a lit pilot left unattended. Then you have up on this light switch, there's the knobs. The middle turns everything off. Down is the knobs and the light in the oven. Very nice. remote for your TV, and then as well as remote for your radio, which also doubles as a DVD player. And then your manuals are on that. Speaking of radios and TVs, here's your radio. It's very simple to use. You can turn that on right there. Make sure the volume isn't blaringly loud. You have different zones, so zone 1's inside. You can turn the inside speakers off, just have them playing outside, or you can turn the outside speakers off, just have them playing inside. You can see how that can be useful. Presets, push and save to save presets, play, pause, stop, rewind, fast forward, or previous channel, next channel, Bluetooth, and then mode selection. So you can Bluetooth your phone to this. Auxiliary port, headphone jack, USB. USB is just for charging your phone. It doesn't actually interface with the radio. Very simple. TV does swivel out. If I can grab it. Yep. So you can watch it in your bed or in your kitchen or whatnot. If you are going to travel, make sure you are in like this, and then you use these straps to strap it shut so it doesn't, when you make a sharp turn, doesn't swing its way out. Bed, both sides of the bed, you have the light switch for the bedroom lights, as well as over there is the light switch for the ceiling lights. And then you do have USB ports and outlets on either side. You do have storage underneath your bed as well. It's nice that they're on struts. A lot of the ones don't come with struts for the bed, and they were a pain in the butt to get into the storage compartment. And this one's nice, easy access to it. You also have, if you're interested in doing your own like winterization and stuff like that, you have access to your, I can put this water pump back here. Emergency exits on either side of the bed work the same way. Lift up like this, like that. Push it out. You can rest it like there to use as a normal window. Or you push this all the way out, grab the screen here, rip it off, and then jump out the window. And more USB ports there. Curtains so you have some privacy in your bedroom area. Alright, that's pretty much it for like the major appliances stuff. You have a smoke alarm right there. Those uses your standard 9-volt batteries. And then you do have a carbon monoxide alarm right there. Again, standard 9-volt batteries. Alright. Well, that pretty much concludes our video walkthrough on your Keystone Cougar. Oh, one more thing. Ending a little early. Your slide outs to turn these lights on, you have this switch right here. You just tap it like that. Turns the lights on. If you tap and hold, it dims them. And tap and hold again. Brightens them up again. And then just tap it to turn it off. Alright. Now that's it. So hope you folks enjoy using your using this trailer. Hope you guys like it a lot. I like these setups. They're pretty nice. I hope you found this video informative. And until next time, goodbye.